Okay guys, now we have part 4, and part 4 is usually one word only, your chance to get 10 out of 10. If you focus what I am going to tell you now. Topic is how industrial revolution affected life in Britain. Industrial revolution, how it affected life in Britain. Okay, now you can see there are 4 headings. Heading number 1, 19th century. So one part of the audio will be about it. Main areas of change, and then there are 3 areas: manufacturing, transport and retailing. And remember, only read where there is the question. Don't read all of it. They will give you 40 seconds, by the way, to read questions 31 to 40, almost 1 minute. You cannot read it all, just focus the questions where first read the title, then read the subheadings, and then only read where the questions are. So, question number 31. For the first time, people's possessions were used to measure Britain's dash. People's possessions were used to measure dash of Britain or Britain's dash. People's possessions mean you have 2 cars, you have 3 big houses, you have gold jewelry. So they used people's possession to measure Britain's dash. Okay, let's see what is that.
Hi everyone. In this session, I'll be presenting my research about the social history of Britain during the Industrial Revolution. I particularly looked at how ordinary lives were affected by changes that happened at that time. This was a time that saw the beginning of a new phenomenon, consumerism, where buying and selling goods became a major part of ordinary people's lives. In fact, it was in the 19th century that the quantity and quality of people's possessions was used as an indication of the wealth of the country. Before this, the vast majority of people had
So, as an indication of wealth, exactly. So, the answer is measure Britain's wealth. I play it again.
Hi everyone. In this session, I'll be presenting my research about the social history of Britain during the Industrial Revolution. I particularly looked at how ordinary lives were affected by changes that happened at that time. This was a time that saw the beginning of a new phenomenon, consumerism, where buying and selling goods became a major part of ordinary people's lives. In fact, it was in the 19th century that the quantity and quality of people's possessions was used as an indication of the wealth of the country.
Wealth of the country.
Before this, the vast majority...
And country means Britain. Yeah. Question number 32. Developments in production of goods and... Now one thing is production of goods and dash greatly changed lives. Production and dash. Now that dash may come before production or after production.
This was the era from the mid-18th to the late 19th century, when improvements in how goods were made, as well as in technology, triggered massive social changes.
How goods were made as well as in technology. Focus again, please. I play this part again.
This was the era from the mid-18th to the late 19th century, when improvements in how goods were made, as well as in technology, triggered massive social changes that transformed life for just about everybody.
Okay, let's go on. Question number 33. Manufacturing. Industrial revolution would not have happened without the new types of dash that were used then. New types of something that was used then. And because of that, industrial revolution took place. 33.
First, let's look at manufacturing. When it comes to manufacturing, we tend to think of the Industrial Revolution in images of steam engines and coal. And it's true that the Industrial Revolution couldn't have taken place at all if it weren't for these new sources of power. They marked an...
Right, wouldn't have taken place and new things of power. That's right. Okay, power is the answer. Question number 34. I'm in a hurry because of time and all that. Question number 34. Leading industry was dash. Now they will say prominent industry, leading industry and all that.
The most advanced industry for much of the 19th century was textiles.
Simple.
This meant that fashionable fabrics and lace and ribbons were made available to everyone.
So, textile. And how do you spell textile? T-E-X, not T-A-X, right? Okay, next question number 35. New dash made factories necessary, and so more people moved into towns. New. For new, they can use any other word, right? New dash made factories necessary.
Before the Industrial Revolution, most people made goods to sell in small workshops, often in their own homes. But enormous new machines were now being created that could produce the goods faster and on a larger scale.
New machines will be the answer. Okay? All right, let's go on. Question number 36. Now it's transport, railway took the place because of the new transport. Question number 36. Greater access to dash made people more aware. Greater access to what? Television or any other thing. Greater access to dash means people could afford, people could buy something, and that made people more aware of what they could buy. So,
as well as manufacturing, there were new technologies in transport, contributing to the growth of consumerism. The horse-drawn stagecoaches and carts of the 18th century, which carried very few people and goods and travelled slowly along poorly surfaced roads, were gradually replaced by the numerous canals that were constructed. These were particularly important for the transportation of goods. The canals gradually fell out of use, though, as railways were developed, becoming the main way of moving goods and people from...
They were talking about railways only. Wait for the answer, okay? Don't be just like, okay, answer kyun nahi aa raha, like that.
One end of the country to the other. And the goods they moved weren't just coal, iron, clothes and so on. Significantly, they included newspapers, which meant that thousands of people were not only more knowledgeable about what was going on in the country, but could also read about what was available in the shops. And that encouraged them to buy more.
Newspapers, exactly. They could read and that encouraged them. Okay, question number 37. When shopping, people were not limited to buying dash goods. Like it can be imported goods, cheap goods, or anything. Goods means saman, right? So when shopping, people were not limited to buying.
So faster forms of transport resulted in distribution becoming far more efficient. Goods could now be sold all over the country instead of just in the local market.
Instead of just in the local market. So when shopping, people were not limited to buying local goods and international market. Question number 38, retailing. The point is the displays of goods were more visible inside stores because of better dash. Because of better, for better they use the word improved, right? Improved something, okay? So let's just see that, 38.
The third main area that saw changes that contributed to consumerism was retailing. The number and quality of shops grew rapidly, and in particular, small shops suffered as customers flocked to the growing number of department stores, a form of retailing that was new in the 19th century. The entrepreneurs who opened these found new ways to stock them with goods and to attract customers. For instance, improved lighting inside greatly increased the visibility of the goods for sale.
So, see that? Improved lighting, better and improved. This is what you have to focus, lighting. How do you spell lighting? L-I-G-H-T-I-N-G. Okay, question number 39. Outside stores, because dash were bigger. Now for bigger, they can say big in size or anything like that. Gigantic dash, big dash. So outside stores, because of dash, were bigger. Now what was bigger? That will be the answer.
Another development that made goods more visible from outside resulted from the use of plate glass, which made it possible for windows to be much larger than previously.
Windows to be much larger than previously. So the answer is windows. सबका दिमाग बंद हुआ है. गुस्से से देख रहे साडी जान छड़ दे. Question number 40. Dash that was persuasive became much more common. Dash that was persuasive, for that they will say persuasive dash. Convincing dash. Right? So important word here is persuasive.
New ways of promoting goods were introduced too. Previously, the focus had been on informing potential customers about the availability of goods. Now, there was an explosion in advertising, trying to persuade people to go shopping.
Advertising, exactly. That's it. Thank you very much.